So thank you so much for choosing KTN Farmers TV. Welcome back to AgriTalk. And today we are joined by Wachira Kagwongo, who is telling us more about the Irish potato law that was enforced. And he is the CEO of the National Potato Council of Kenya. So let's go on with our conversation. So we're talking about the registration. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, registration, the regulations requires that the players in the, or rather the actors in the industry register. It is mandatory for all of them to register, but farmers have an option. You may register or you may not, but you are encouraging them to register, and more importantly, to register with the Farmer Association. Just as I said, because there is a lot of benefit in registration and having the data of the farmers in terms of planning. Now, when you look at the traders, it's important to know who is buying potato and where they're taking potato, and more importantly, that process of registration allows them to understand a few things in terms of trading. I can tell you, for example, we have had cases where potato or other foodstuff is transported by traders using trucks that have been used to carry chemicals that are poisonous and all this. It's important for them to be enlightened about food safety. We have seen even sometimes farmers using chemicals that are not good for food, and sometimes you'll find them using one plot, they use a different chemical, ile watauza, another plot, ya kukula, wanatini. We have to be careful of this, and these are things everybody has been complaining, especially in not only in potatoes, in all sectors. We complain that the produce that is rejected for export find its way back to our market. We are not animals, we are human beings, and therefore, if it's not good for the foreigners there, it's not good for us. And therefore we need to be aware and do what is necessary to ensure that the food we are taking here is safe. And that touches on food safety and also standards. So it is important for the county, because most of them are being registered in the county, to know who are the traders coming to buy from their farmers, so that we don't have that exploitation, and people understand what is good for the farmers and for the industry. Because as I mentioned earlier, it is good to have an order in all sector. And that's what we are doing in potato industry. And this is a starting, because potato, we kind of tried to push it faster because we've been on it for a long time. But even another food crop will have to be kind of, say, managed or have orders, so that everybody is safe. Everybody is complaining about cancer levels, and it's because of the chemicals used, how the transportation is done, storage, cooking, and all these. And if we don't check all these, then we are not doing justice to ourselves. Yes.
Sure. So definitely now potato farming is a big driver of the economy, and having even such a law, as much as people may want to fight it, a section understand that where there is order, definitely it means that the business is going to be more profitable, and many people could be looking at wanting to start a venture in potato farming. What are some of the advice you can give to such?
Potato industry, in potato industry there is a lot of potential at all levels. And investment opportunities exist at all levels, starting from production of potato. Where potato, currently the yields is less than 10 tons on average. If you look at Egypt and South Africa, which are in the same continent as Kenya, they produce over 35 tons per hectare, which means we can multiply over three times of what we get by using the correct fertilizer, correct agrochemicals, and good seed, and then good agronomic practices. And you have your money. It is potato, you cannot compare it with the maize. Even if there's no enough rain, there is some little rain, you'll have to harvest something compared to maize that you have to wait for 6, 7, 8 months. And that's why most of the farmers in Rift Valley, they are moving to potatoes. Yeah, because in a year you harvest twice. And there is not much politics yet in potatoes. So the market is there. And then if you're able to harvest or even store so that you have potato during the period of shortage, that is April, May, October, November, the price doubles. That's another opportunity. We are encouraging farmers to use irrigation so that they harvest when there is no potatoes, or to plant potatoes varieties that you can store so that you release them when there is shortage. And that's good money. That's another business. So, and seed, we are supporting anybody who is interested to produce seed can contact National Potato Council through the website or a number, and we'll show them how to go about it and connect them to the right institution that will support them to get foundation seed, that is CARO, CIP, and also KEFIS for regulations. So we are there to support them. Then we have an exploited area, industrial processing, such as starch for pharmaceuticals, for food, food factories, for roundley. That is not exploited, and there's a lot of potential. Again, powder and all this, that's another area which we are encouraging investors to enter into. So there's quite a number of investment areas that have not been exploited, and we can support anybody who is willing to venture into that by providing them the correct information and linking them to the right institution that will support them.
Okay. So you've talked about safe use of agrochemicals and fertilizers and all that. Do you feel like we are in a position where we can be able to grow our potatoes in an organic way and in a commercial way? Is it doable?
Yes and no. Our climatic conditions here are a bit favorable for pests and diseases. And potatoes, especially the high-yielding potato varieties, will be very susceptible to most of the diseases. And it's a bit difficult. There will be a lot of compromise. We have some varieties that are adapted to the environment, especially those that have been produced by CARO and CIP, because we used to call them pro-poor varieties, because they were produced targeting the poor farmers who don't have to buy a lot of chemicals, who don't have to irrigate, and also take a lot of care. And those ones may survive and produce substantially, but they may not reach that level of high commercial level. So that's why I'm saying yes and no, depending on your target. Because if you really want to do good business, it may be a bit difficult to produce without
the use of the chemicals.
Yeah, use of chemicals.
And do we have people on the ground that are just making sure that these farmers are following the instructions? Because I think in most cases, some of the stories we've had, it's not really the bad, it's really not, the mistake is not using these chemicals. Because like you've said, like you've mentioned, we have climate change effects and pests and diseases have become very aggressive. So it may not be able to avoid them, but are we using them correctly? Yes,
National Potato Council has partnered with agrochemical companies and also AAK. AAK is Agrochemical Association of Kenya. And we are training the same youth I mentioned. We are calling them farm service providers on how to spray. And they are taught in terms of the rates, methods, and they are given the gears, and they provide now services to the farmers. Farmers just pay for the service. Instead of buying chemicals and gears and everything for spraying, you just request for the service of spraying. So you'll pay as per your area that you want sprayed and the service, not the chemicals. That is good because these young people are trained. So they know how to spray, they know the agrochemicals that are supposed to be used, and they'll just provide your service and go to somebody else. So there's no wastage. And also what we are doing as National Potato Council, we have partnered with PCPB that approves the chemicals. So we normally go and check the approved agrochemicals in the market and provide the list of all the approved chemicals to the farmers, counties, and because you work with the counties, so that they know the agrochemicals that are approved, that are good for use.
Okay.
So yes, we are taking care of that, and they are also being trained on how to dispose the containers that have been emptied.
And do you feel like the consumers have a responsibility in terms of the security, the food that we buy, in just ensuring that it is secure, it does not have these chemicals? What do you feel like the consumer can do just to make sure that the food that we go buy from the market, or the potatoes that we go buy from the market, that actually the farmers used these chemicals in the right way? What is our responsibility?
I think it's a bit difficult for the consumers, but I think all of us, we have to work together.
True.
And more importantly, to buy potatoes from designated areas. And that's why the regulations are coming handy, because there are all the areas that are used for marketing, storage, are supposed to be registered and also checked whether they are following the correct procedures and they are safe. And to do that, it means you have to indicate where you are getting potato. Yeah. And in short, it's like we are trying to implement traceability in one way or another, which means, for example, today, if you want, at your home, if you want to buy doma,
Yeah, true.
yeah, and you are aware that some domas are produced from the sewage water, what will you do? We'll make sure you are buying from somebody who has come from where?
Yeah.
From Muranga, Meru,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, that is the responsibility I would say consumers have. They have to know that wherever they are buying from, it is an area that is recognized, accepted, and known to have potatoes that are produced from known places. And especially because for us now, we are supporting farmers all along the entire value chain. We are supporting them in production, agrochemicals, the use, transportation, and all this. And when these regulations are completely enforced, it means you don't need to mind when you are buying from wakulima, specific area that you know it is allowed to produce, I mean to market potatoes, because for licensing, for registration, it has to have followed all those procedures. So yes, we all have to play a role, especially by making sure where you are buying, it's a recognized, a licensed place and a known place to produce or to be used for marketing. Okay. Thank you.
And what would you say is the best climatic condition that favors, or the type of soil that favors good production, successful production of potato? Maybe giving us examples in Kenya.
Yes. For potatoes, when you are not using irrigation, and when it's not intensive, traditionally farmers growing potato are from highlands, because the varieties that came in the country originally were those that are grown in highlands, and also in our highlands in Kenya, that's where we have enough rain. So automatically they have been fitted there, and the varieties have been fitted there. But we have varieties that can grow in lowlands. That is, when you say lowland here, again, these are areas with high temperatures.
Yes.
That's how it follows here, but not necessarily globally. So you find that you can produce potatoes in hot areas, but what you make sure is that there is enough water, and during the time of tuberization, the night temperatures goes below 15 degrees centigrade. And that is what you find in Egypt and other areas, because they are hot areas. Yes. The temperatures go down, and also they regulate using water, and you still make good harvest. You have a good harvest. So depending on the variety, and also those temperatures, regulations, and understanding. So yes, you can grow potatoes even in lowland, although not many people are doing it now because of the varieties that we've had. And the other problem with lowland is that the pest and disease pressure is higher. And that's why you find, like seed, most seed has to be produced in highlands, not in lowland. But you can you can grow your potato and still harvest in lowland as long as there is water, and then temperatures at night go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms, you're saying that we have different varieties that caters for most of our different, climatic zones here.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so let's talk about post-production losses, because I think this is one of the issues also that is leading to these extended bags and all that. Is there a way farmers can be able to avoid finding themselves all at the same time in the market that now forces the prices to go down, or this
Yes.
money, whatever, yeah?
Yes, yeah, that's very important, Susan. And that's why I was saying farming with irrigation water can help a lot. Because now what you're doing is making sure you are planting your potatoes, timing to harvest when others don't have potatoes.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. Number two is growing potatoes that can be stored for long. So that even if you're using rainwater, you harvest and store them for not more than 2 months, by the way, because the shortage is around 2 months. And then you sell that. That helps improve the prices, your prices, and also it helps even out the supply, so that even the market outlets, the processors, can get potatoes throughout. So we have what we call potato variety catalog, which we release every 2 years. For example, this year we are releasing the 2021 variety catalog. It has the details of all the varieties that are registered in the country, and their attributes, and how they are grown, and how they are utilized, indicating how you can grow, store, or any activity along the production and marketing and all these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a conversation that will never end at any given day. There is so much to talk about, and I'm sure you're going to be seated there again very, very, very soon. But before we wind up, maybe what is the one thing that you would want to leave with our viewers? Maybe those who are aspiring to farm, do you feel this is a good opportunity? What is the one thing that you would want to leave with our viewers before you go?
I would like to assure the farmers first, is that potato industry is really changing, and it's going to be a big business, just like we used to have coffee and tea a long time ago. I know now it's being reorganized again, but the way we used to have coffee giving farmers good money, that's where we want to go. And with the support and enforcement of regulations, we will be there. We just need to work together, because there is business, and whenever there is business, there's something for everybody there.
Sure.
Even the traders, even the brokers, there's something for them if they agree to play the game by the law. They will still have something. So we need to do what is required, and practice potato production as a business.
True.
Not as a by the way, or just because you want to do farming.
True.
So let's look at it as a business. Let's use the correct seed. Let's use the correct agrochemicals. Let's do practice agronomic practices that support production, so that you have per tuber you have over 30, 40, 50 tubers. True. And it is possible because it is happening here in this country.
So thank you so much. That is where we wrap up our episode today. And I believe that you've learned quite a lot, that in fact, Irish potato is a big business, but you have to do it right. Until next time, it's bye-bye from us.